Today is the day that we hopefully start getting a few things done. It's been a couple days since we've been able to work on the car, but in the meantime, I've been accumulating some parts that we've been waiting on. In the meantime, had the injectors flow tested and cleaned. Have a nice little sheet to prove it. They came out to exactly what they were supposed to be, but it's more of a peace of mind thing, and it feels pretty good to know that we're not gonna be putting something in there that may not be working right and eliminate any variables. And then we were waiting on a throttle body gasket kit. The old ones that I had were pretty junk, so we needed some new ones. And we were kind of waiting on those two things to start putting together the top of the motor. Not gonna do that today though. As you can remember, last time we were waiting on a body saw to finish cutting on this side over here. And that's what Ryan is kind of looking at right now. The hole isn't gonna exactly be the greatest, but it won't be too bad.
It'll kind of, you have a little bit of this whoopie in there, but it'll come out and it'll be more of an oval shape. Come out and around this, encapsulate those two holes so you don't have just two random holes sitting there.
Right, chilling. Cool.
Two hours later.
Oh man. You're like those dudes that carve out sculptures out of like tree trunks and stuff with chainsaws?
Nah. I'm like them dudes that up Foxbodies.
let's go work it. That seems very, very not delicate. We're having to get very creative. This body saw is turning out to be a rather piece of shit and it's not wanting to work correctly, so we're improvising.
That's right. Fucking like a surgeon, I fucking told you, guy. I found that light up there, I can't see.
We got it the best we could with the Sawzall, with the metal blade on it. So now Ryan's gonna take the rotary to it. It's gonna make kind of a mess, so we have our very, very rigged FOD protection. It's gonna make a mess.
All right, we're gonna kind of change things up. Jesse has not gotten the intercooler or the plenum man or intake plenum washed, so we can't get those on. Kind of puts us at a standstill on the turbo side of things. So real quick, we're gonna run out and we're gonna run over my storage unit. We're gonna get the other driver's side leather seat. Whenever I bought my car that had new edge leather seats in it, whenever I just picked up my car from the chassis shop, I put a Kirky in my driver's side, and I've still kind of got just one of the, I've got the what was the driver's side seat just kind of chilling on the passenger side, not bolted down. Eventually I'll run both Kirkys. Right now it's to run one stock passenger seat, but rather than let Jesse roll around with
Very shitty.
these deluxe vented gray tweed seats, we're gonna put both the leather seats in it. So that's one of them. We already switched one earlier whenever we first brought the car over because it was already here in the shop. We're gonna run over there and get the other one. We might feel like pushing a car in snow.
Yeah.
We might push it out. We're gonna kind of do that. We're gonna pull the downpipe off, see about starting to get it wrapped, because we know how that's already gonna sit in there. It's not gonna affect how we put the cold side on. And other than that, we'll just kind of see how far along we get. So, I don't know what the f he's doing.
can make like a GIF out of still images.
This was rolling the whole time for this shit.
Don't know where you all live. If you live on a coast or down south, fuck you.
We got snow.
We live in the MO. It's a whole 0 degrees. The largest car show of the year in our area is in exactly 1 month. See how that goes. Probably not very well.
The kickoff party that's in the month, ain't it?
Yeah. This is your first time seeing Ryan's beauty of a F350.
It's the F3 shitty, homie.
An expedition! Woo! She chilly.
Good. Banging.
It thumps! I forgot your keys.
I forgot the
What the f? What'd you do, Ryan?
forgot the keys.
We're back, round 2. We're gonna take a look at these sold. El cabinet over here in the free department. Sure is. It's full of shit. Woo! No car. Yeah.
Somebody was mad for that last shot.
Gotta get some sunshine. She's looking a little haggard right now. We got the tri-bars on her. We took the wing off because Ryan had a piece of whale wing, saline wing that we didn't really like, so we took that off. He's gonna put something else on. Got a cobra wing at the shop we might throw on. Overall, pretty clean car. Not too shabby. I'll let him show. He just had all this cage work done.
So, Hook and Chassis here local to us. They're the ones that did the cage. They did all the chassis work to it really so far. Other than that, it's pretty much factory. It's got a 6-point fold-out door bars. Just was trying to get my door open here. 6-point fold-out door bars. Through the floor subframe connectors. It is set up so it can keep a back seat. That's why these bars come out and hook down like this. Otherwise it'd be pretty much straight back down. Whenever I bought the car, it did have a cage in it. Or it had a little roll bar in it. It was not very good. It was set really far forward. And so me and Jesse, you're like what, 6'2",
Yeah.
and I'm like 6'1". We were like knees into the steering wheel. Couldn't drive it. Or you could drive it, but it was very uncomfortable. So, got everything moved back. He mounted the Kirky, made all the mounts and everything for it. He also went through and completely braced all the torque boxes. Trying to think what else he did. I don't know, the guys there at Hook and Chassis, I can do nothing but recommend them. I mean, the whole cage is completely TIG welded. Let's see if I can't get that to focus. Maybe if I stand in front of it. Anyways, the welds and everything are all just awesome. I mean, I've seen some really booger welded cages in the past. And I mean, I was nothing but impressed with it. I was super stoked, and I still am. We have to get it over to the shop here pretty quick, because I can see it's already starting to get like a little bit of surface rust on it. We brought it back and it got stuffed right in the storage unit. So we're gonna have to get on it. Hopefully Jesse's car is done for that show he was talking about earlier, but this car will be there for sure. So, but we gotta make it so it doesn't look quite so haggard. Whenever I first bought it, it had a really janky cowl hood on it that had come up at some point in time, and I sold it, and the guy I sold it to traded me this stock white hood, but it's I don't know if you can see there in the video, but it's pretty dented up. It's pretty dented up. Right after I bought it, the intake manifold was leaking, and so we brought it back, and I kind of did just pretty basic bolt-ons. It's a completely stock long block. It's got the Holley Systemax manifold, big throttle body spacer, big throttle body, 410, or I think it's got 373 gears in it. Really, I mean, it's pretty stock. I can't even really think of what all bolt-ons it's got. It's got long tubes and exhaust. I mean, other than intake manifold, long tubes and exhaust, and like throttle body shit, this thing's fucking stock.
She's stocky.
Yeah. So I was trying to think, like, I was like, yeah, what the fuck is done to this? Not a whole lot, gentlemen. But I will say, on a set of slicks,
she goes.
It gets a little rowdy. I mean, it's not like the fastest fucking thing, but I mean, it gets with it to some extent.
Made it back to the shop. So I pulled the downpipe off. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it so we can put it back in. I don't have a full roll of exhaust wrap left, so I'll probably just do as much as I can get. Hopefully it gets the whole thing. And then in the meantime, Ryan's probably gonna take a look at changing this seat out for my driver's side seat. So I'll probably take that one out and replace it while we are kind of waiting for me to get the other stuff done. So do that. Okay, so the downpipe is all wrapped up. Ryan got the brackets. Well, he was going to change the brackets over from the other seat, but since I'll let you kind of explain what happened.
The electric seat brackets are different, I guess. I don't know. I already swapped the Foxbody brackets onto the new edge seat there, and fit on there fine. Trying to put the driver's seat bracket on this seat, I guess they're different. The pan's different. So there was like big gaps and it just wasn't gonna fit very well. So I put the electric seat bracket back on there. As you can see, all the motors and shit. But we're gonna have to get a plug to wire it up, which is not very difficult. I had to wire it up in my car, but we'll get a plug to wire it up because right now we can't move the seat back and forth to get all the nuts and bolts and everything. So just one of them type of deals.
So I will show you this downpipe really fast. It didn't turn out too bad. I ran out of tape, or not tape, wrap right at the end, but this is gonna be right into the car, so it won't be a huge deal. Most of it is done, so it looks pretty good. We're gonna leave it off because after we get everything finalized on the car, for the initial fire, we're gonna take the turbo off and just kind of blow everything out that may be any dirt or debris that may be in the header, so it's not gonna be blowing into the compressor or anything directly, so.
Several days later.
All right, Jesse, what is happening today?
Today is a very special day. Today is the day that the wagon is on the road.
So tell us a little bit about this slick, Beauty and a Betty, clean one owner.
This fine piece of machinery right here is the best thing to hit the road since 1986. This is an 86 Mercury Lynx. This is a vehicle that I acquired from a family friend, and it's really clean. It's really old, it's really slow, but it's really cool.
How many miles this thing got on it?
It's got 8,000 miles on it, 8,000 original miles.
Let's pop the hood on this.
No, we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that?
She has a very, very powerful 1.9 liter naturally aspirated gas motor.
Carbureted.
0 to 60 in enough time for you to make a lunch. And yeah, that's it. It's pretty cool. The inside is still really, really dirty. It had just been sitting for a lot of years. I locked it, but it's all dusty on the inside. So I'm gonna give it a full detail over and make it look pretty nice. The plan right now is to just put some wheels on it. Put some wheels on it, give it a little bit of low, give it a little bit of love, just drive it. This thing's gonna be our car show cruiser this summer. But aside from when we take the race cars. So. Aside from getting the links, today is a very special day. Today we are finally able to start putting the top half of the motor on, upper intake plenum and things like that. I had to order some injector adapters for the injectors that I bought. The newer style injectors have a USCAR, I think that's how you pronounce it, connector. So that's what they look like, and my style of harness, the older Ford injector harness, has a Jetronic style, so you can't run these injectors unless you have an adapter or you wire them in. But I just went ahead and picked up a set of adapters, so now we can finally start throwing some things on up top. We could have done it before, but if you put the upper plenum on, you can't get to the driver's side injectors hardly at all underneath. It's basically impossible, so we didn't want to do the extra work of putting it on and then having to take it back off before we finally got the injectors, or when we finally got the adapters and things like that. So hopefully today we make some good progress and can get this top buttoned up. We're really waiting on this to get done so we can finish this intercooler piping over here. And this piece that goes down to the intercooler. We just really wanted to have the top of the motor on for sure here so we can make sure that we mount our intercooler in the right place and things like that. So it's kind of been a long, painful process waiting for that stuff to kind of get finished up and ready so we can finish putting it on. So, but we're moving along, so let's see how much we can get done today. We ain't getting shit done with you standing around.
Oh boy, I'm trying to buy parts.
Alright, so we got the fuel rail on and the injectors in. Ryan's just cleaning up a nut that we need for the bracket for the hard coolant line, and then we should have everything to do with that all buttoned up so we can put the upper plenum on.
Where the f your PPE?
Man, how you just going ham with no gloves on?
As long as you don't like, as long as you're like, oh yeah, let me just.
You're about to hamburger them fingers. Okay, so we got the fuel rail and then the injectors, everything buttoned up fine. Plugged the harness in, got all the wires ran and everything right. We needed to put a few sensors in, so we got those cleaned up and then put in as well. So now we're getting ready to throw on the upper plenum, and then we'll be able to put on the throttle body and spacer and all that good stuff so we can start routing the piping. So it's like we're coming out of a cave. Alright, we're going to take a break for a little bit. We're going to run over to the neighboring town, see about going to the DMV. Woo! And try to get plates for this Lynx. So we're going to take a break and go head over and do that.
She been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can split. Do this all the time. This ain't no surprise. Every other.
Alright, we're in the wagon, and we is on the way to License Bureau. We was checking out Jesse. Watch it. Road, homeboy. Don't worry about what I'm filming. Anyways, up here there's a time right? No, I don't think so. There's a lapse time button. We're gonna give this old girl her 0 to 60 time.
We'll see if we're gonna make it in this stretch.
So we got a little bit of flat here. In Mexico, they got a little snow a little while back.
Start here. Yellow driveway. All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
As soon as I go. Man, I pity this shift. Shift up. All right. Come on. 55. Woo!
16 seconds. We got a little hot rod here. Apparently it was so fast, it put on the weather alert.
Okay, so we got back from the DMV a little while ago, and since then Ryan and I have just been working on the car a little bit. I'm trying to get this upper plenum on, so I think we're about done for the day, but for now I'll just show you the progress that we have achieved. So we got the upper plenum on, throttle body spacer, got the wires kind of tucked in there the best that we could and ran around. Ryan was trying to do a little bit of trimming and make things a little bit cleaner, and what'd you do?
I may have cut the TPS plug off rather than the EGR plug.
So he was just trying to dead end it, which is fine, but he cut off the wrong plug, so
I was working from memory. Apparently my memory ain't that good, so ain't that big of a deal. I'll put it back together and
created more work for him. I think it was pretty funny. But anyway, yeah. But the good news is the whole top of the motor is, for the most part, on, ready to roll. All the plugs are plugged in and good and everything. Besides, there's just a few different things, a few small things we need to finish up, like thermostat housing, belt. We need to finish tightening down the crank pulley. There's just a couple different things that we need to button up as far as motor-wise. And then other than that, it's just going to be running the cold side for the turbo, mounting the intercooler, and then she'll be about ready to start. It is currently the middle of the week, and my computer, I ordered a PIMP box, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that and what that is when it comes. But a PIMP ECU, PIMP XS, and it will be here towards the end of the week, or maybe the beginning of next week. I don't really know yet, but we're kind of stuck for first fire and things like that until then. So in the meantime, we can just be getting things buttoned up. Drive shaft still needs to be put on. Fluids, all that kind of stuff. So we have just a little bit of, or a bunch of little things to do in the meantime to get ready for that. So, okay, so we're gonna cut it for today. Thanks for following along, and thanks for watching the little progress we've got done. If you're enjoying the videos, or if you have been watching the videos, make sure to smash like. Every smash like is 1 more horsepower that this car gets, so we need all the help that we can get. If you like the videos, hit that red sub button. We really appreciate it. Make sure to follow us on the gram and all the other social media stuff. We're not really present there, but just come say what's up anyway. And yeah, I think that's pretty much for today. So with that being said.
What?
The
Keep it street.